Read by Army censors, this address by Frederick C. Crawford, just returned from the war fronts, outlines the way we can speed final victory. He tells the National Association of Manufacturers in New York.
We face a powerful enemy. Many lives will be lost before there is victory in Europe. General Somerville, in his speech Wednesday, stated that we are committed to fight with the overwhelming superiority of material rather than lives. Now, without seeing the fighting and the mud and the destruction, one can have no conception of the terrific rate of consumption of raw material. I repeat, we return deeply stirred, deadly serious in our determination to make Americans understand this. You ask me how long will this war last, and I'll give you the impression that came to me as I sat there in that 12th Army headquarters. Our armies can sit there in front of that line 1 month, 2 months, 6 months, 1 year, unless we expend vast quantities of materials or lives. Yes, General Somerville summarized it. Lives or material. And the materials must be those determined by the conditions of the war as it develops. Let us be thankful that our war material needs are in the hands of this great supply officer. The GI is hungry for the assurance that we will not let him down, said General Eisenhower. Don't worry about him. Don't worry about the morale of our boys. Just back him up. And we solemnly pledged ourselves to return, to bring you this message, to travel this land over and tell all men who love their country that it's time to re-enlist in the battle for freedom.
Remember, we at home have to help win this war. The heartbreaking march up the Italian boot continues in a sea of mud, where a pair of dry shoes is an oddity, and the GI wonders whether there ever was such a thing as dry land. Pinning down an estimated 20 Nazi divisions in northern Italy demands superhuman feats of transport. And a foot slogger really knows what a muddy track is. At Borgo San Lorenzo, Signal Corps cameras record a miniature flood, which all but stalls traffic. For the second year, winter is descending on this front, with rains that make the second story about the only dry spot in town. He'll swap this for a pair of boots, but the Signora really needs a boat. War in Italy has become amphibious.
When the Nazis see a newsreel, these scenes of wrecked American equipment along the Western Front greet them. This official War Department release of captured enemy films shows part of the staggering cost we pay in tanks and planes to bring the Nazi to his knees. Another price is paid by valiant Allied soldiers who, having lost the war's gamble, languish in prison stockades. These are the men who must wait in monotony and boredom for war's end, an end that can only be speeded by our crushing and overwhelming superiority in equipment and supply.
Prime Minister Churchill confers with Premier Stalin in Moscow. The British chief has Anthony Eden as advisor, and of course Molotoff is on hand for the Russians. These talks on war progress led to the statement by Mr. Churchill that the Allies must call on our enemies for unconditional surrender. Following the conferences, the Prime Minister prepares to leave Moscow by air. On his return to London, Mr. Churchill told the House of Commons that Anglo-Russian relations have never been closer. He paved the way for General de Gaulle's visit to Moscow and the signing of the pact between France and Russia for mutual assistance. A season of spectacular professional football nears its climax as a Redskin fumble is recovered by the New York Giants, who are off to an early score in Washington, D.C. On the very next play, a successful pass to Cuff. Nails it down. Washington's Sammy Baugh tries a short pass, which is again picked up by the Giants, who drive back down the field for 11 yards. The Giants are playing desperately for the Eastern Championship and a chance to meet the Green Bay Packers in the title playoff. And here they go again as Herbert passes, and it is good for another Giant score. The Skins get another chance, but Baugh's throw is intercepted, this time by Ebedesian, who razzle-dazzles the Giants into their 7th Eastern title by the decisive score of 31-0.